Well, hello there. My name is Patrick Renard, and you just actually typed in how to become a successful entrepreneur. And so in this video, I want to share with you what I've been able to do for the last 23 years to be a successful entrepreneur. I'd say being able to work from my home for the last 23 years and put my kids on the bus and take them off the bus in the afternoon and be able to go where I want to go and stay as long as I want to stay and kind of have a very comfortable lifestyle. I've chose that career path early on. Right out of college, I decided I wanted to become a successful entrepreneur. And so in order to do that, I learned right away. My dad actually gave me some very, very good advice. He said, son, if that's the route you want to go, he said, my advice to you would be go find somebody that's already become successful as an entrepreneur. Find something you're passionate about, something you're excited about, whether it's a company, product, or service. He said, model your potential success after somebody that's already done it. And so I did exactly that. It was the best advice my dad, could ever give me. And so what I did is I started reading some books early on. Back then, even Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki were just, emerging very successful entrepreneurs. Warren Buffett, probably the richest entrepreneur on planet Earth. I actually read their books, and there was 5 key things that popped out of all of those books that all had in common. And it was 5 things that were going to help you and help me set myself up for success in becoming an entrepreneur. And here's the first of the 5. Number 1, if you're going to market another company's products or services, make sure that company's solid and well-funded. Make sure they can afford to pay their light bill. The last thing you want to do is go to work for a company just to find out 6 months on down the road, they can't even afford to pay their bills. And now you're here, you're out of an investment, your time, your energy. You probably wasted some contacts, so make sure they're solid and well-funded. Ideally, these 3 gentlemen talk about picking a company that's at least 10 years old, publicly traded preferably, and they could have a global presence. All right. Number 2, you want to make sure that this company is properly positioned itself in front of a major economic shift or some sort of vertical trend. You don't want to market a product or a service in a declining industry or an industry that's stagnant. You want something that's going vertical. Number 3, you want to be able to have a product or a service that everybody's already using or that's something everybody needs. You don't want to go out and try to change consumers' buying habits. That's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's just not going to fit, right? So you want to figure out what people are already doing, what they're already buying, okay, and then just figure out how to get in the middle of that consumer transaction and just carve out a little sliver of that transaction for yourself, right? So number 4, you want to make sure that the company or that you're working for offers a lucrative compensation plan, or if it's your own product and service, you want to make sure your profit margin is worth the time and the energy invested. So you want to have a lucrative pay plan, whether it's your own pay plan for other distributors to be able to profit from, or whether it's your own or somebody else's pay plan that's going to pay you. And number 5, you want to make sure that this model is duplicatable. You want to make sure that you could scale it if you want to. You want to make sure that other people could do what you're doing, and you want to make sure that it's affordable. It has to be affordable for the masses in order to create momentum, okay, and true vertical growth. So those are the 5 most important key factors and really the best ideas or bullet points I can give you that come straight from 3 of the most successful entrepreneurs probably in my lifetime. Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, and Warren Buffett. And I feel like if you will follow and model after those 5 things right there, you can definitely put yourself in a position to be successful. Okay? And listen, if you've already done your research and you can't find a company, a product, or a service that actually fits into all 5 of those criteria, we actually have one. My wife and I have partnered up with some internet marketing professionals, and we're working with a 12-year-old publicly traded company that operates in every country on the planet. They support 17 different languages and multiple different currencies. So if you're looking for something, a viable business that you can actually go out and become a successful entrepreneur with, we have one. You can click on one of the links right below and we'll give you a detailed description on what we're doing. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Just watch our tutorial. All right, it's waga.com, wwaga.com, or you can click on myverticalmove.com. Both are in the description right below you in this video. And if you think that we've helped you or answered your question, we'd really appreciate it if you just click like on our video down below, and you can share it on your social media channels. That'd be great. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you in another video.
Rapid job turnover is going to be a fact of your life for the rest of your life. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, a person starting work today will have 14 full-time jobs lasting 2 years or more, and 5 full-time careers lasting 5 or 10 years. We have moved from an era of lifelong employment to an era of lifelong employability. Now, how do you succeed in a turbulent world where jobs are churning like a washing machine and will continue to do so for the rest of your life? Today, there's about 25 million men and women who are either unemployed or underemployed. In America, they say the employment rate is 8.2%. This is about as realistic as moon on the cheese. The true unemployment rate, according to Businessweek, Fortune, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, and Investor's Business Daily, is about 17.7%. It's an incredible rate today. And the unemployment rate for many college graduates is 25 and 30%. So how can someone be a success in getting a job and in an industry that's not doing well? Well, there's a rule that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And at the beginning of our economy, at the beginning of the last century, if you wanted to succeed, you worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Eventually, they got it down to 10 and down to 8. The average working person today works about 5.2 hours. All the rest of the time is spent wasting time, talking to friends, going for lunch and coffee, coming in late, leaving early, and so on. If you're really serious about doing well in your industry, what you do is you turn up the pressure. You start working longer and harder. I will give you a secret that will make you successful, happy, thin, and rich. It's simply this: work all the time you work. When you work, work. When you go to work, work. Put your head down and work full blast the whole day. When someone comes up to you and says, "Hi, have you got a minute to talk?" You say, "No, why don't you go and talk to that other person and ruin his career?" As far as you're concerned, people are watching you, and especially the people who control your job are watching you. And so you want to make sure that whenever they look at you, you are working all the time. If you want to supercharge your career, here's 3 keys, absolutely guaranteed. Number 1, come in an hour early to work. Come in earlier than anyone else. Napoleon Hill writes about a strategy practiced by a young man. He found out when he got his job, when his boss came to work, and he always came an hour earlier than his boss. So when his boss arrived, there he was. And he always worked through lunch. So when his boss, who was overwhelmed with work, would look up, all the other employees were gone and he was still there. Then he looked at what time his boss left, and he worked an hour longer than his boss. So whenever his boss left, he was still working. Well, do you know what happened? For about 2 or 3 months, the boss said nothing. And then one day, at the end of the day, the boss came over and said, "Look, there's no one else here. Could you take care of this for me?" And he said, "Sure." And he pounced on it. And he did it. He worked hours and he got it all done. When the boss came in the next morning, it was all done. And the boss was surprised. So a couple of days later, the boss said, "Could you take care of this for me?" And he pounced on it again. And he got it done quickly and well. And the boss was again impressed but didn't say anything. This happened several times, and pretty soon the boss started to give him more and more jobs. Now, here's an important insight. Every time you take on a new responsibility, you promote yourself. Every time you ask for more work or take on more work, you promote yourself. You make yourself stand out. You make yourself more valuable than anyone else. You make yourself stand out in the eyes and minds of the people who can help you the most. So if you want to get ahead in your industry, turn up the pressure. Turn on the turbochargers. Work all the time you work. Put your head down from dawn till dusk. Don't waste time, and keep volunteering for more responsibilities. If you do that, you'll soon become valuable and eventually indispensable. You will create complete job security for yourself for the rest of your career.